Alright guys, welcome back to another operaomnia video where we're going to be talking about both Rosa and Reno, two characters that are featured in the upcoming Reno Lost chapter. Now Reno's going to be getting his LD extension, while Rosa, she will be getting her LD weapon and a small rework. Now I'm going to be mainly focusing on Rosa because if some of you guys may or may not know, Rosa used to be like one of those go-to support characters way back in the day. But of course, as time passes by, of course, we get our new toys, our new characters. So of course, characters do get replaced from time to time. But Rosa does come back, and she does come back pretty strong in my opinion. And with her LD ability, the buff that she provides a strong aura to the party. And I feel like it's one that I think is pretty overlooked by many players. So we're going to talk about why, in my opinion, it's actually a pretty strong one just based on the team comp that you actually set up with Rosa. Now, we're also going to go back a little bit in time and talk about her previous buffs via her base kit, like her EX, her skill 2, you know, so on and so forth, and kind of like put the previous buffs together and then the new aura buffs together and then combine them and kind of just like show off and be like, hey, look, this is what she is going to be providing now if you decide to actually pull for her LD weapon. So we're going to talk about all of that in this video, and I'll give you guys my opinions on why she's actually a solid support character now that she is going to be getting her LD weapon in the upcoming Reno's Lost chapter. So with that being said, if you guys do enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future operaomnia content, as we are very, very close to the big 3,000 subscriber mark. And like always, guys, I mean, I don't think I say this enough, but like, I appreciate you guys for all of the awesome support recently. I just can't thank you guys enough for everything you guys have done. Look. When I announced the big announcement later this month, which if you missed my poll video the other day, I potentially have a big announcement towards the end of this month. So, and you know, it's reasons why I have been saying thank you a lot. So, it will all come together towards the end of the month. So again, big thank you. Let's go ahead and jump into it because I don't want to keep this video too long. Let's go ahead and first talk about Reno, and then we'll switch over to Rosa, and then we'll talk about why she is, well, I guess both of these characters are actually not a bad option to pull for in the upcoming banner. So with Reno's LD extension, at the beginning of the quest, he grants the buff Turk Pride to himself for 6 actions, and whenever he is inflicting a buff, he is also granting the same buff for 6 actions. Now, whenever he is using his LD ability, he got an increase in total brave hits and an increase in brave potency by a tremendous amount. Also, with the buff Turk Pride, the party gets an increase in max brave and attack by 20%. Then to himself, he gets a 30% elemental weakness brave damage up. And when attacking a debuffed target, he increases the base duration of debuffs inflicted by 2 actions and increases the HP damage dealt by 20%. Now for his call ability, whenever the caller uses his call ability, he will actually remove 1 buff from the target and he inflicts the pyramid debuff. Now while this pyramid debuff is active, enemies afflicted with this debuff cannot deal brave or HP damage and cannot inflict debuffs. Once this effect has been triggered, Pyramid will be dispelled. Next up is Rosa with her small rework. Now for her Divine Blast Extend, she recovers brave to herself based on 150% of her own attack before she deals any brave attacks. Now speaking on her brave attacks, she got an increase in total brave hits, she got an increase in brave potency by a tremendous amount, and she also deals splash damage, 50% splash damage to be exact, to non-targets. Then she recovers HP to the party based on 50% of the HP damage dealt to the target with a recovery limit of 20% of the max HP. Now with her Prey Extend, her skill 2, whenever she uses Prey, she recovers 80% HP to the party, and it will not count towards the total turn count, excluding summon phase or if you are using her as a friend support. Then, when you are using her HP attack plus, she recovers Brave to herself based on 100% of her own attack before she deals her Brave attacks. Her LD ability, which is called Blessed Archery, she increases her Brave based on 150% of her own attack. Then she deals a 5-hit AoE ranged Brave plus an AoE HP attack with 2 HP dumps, and she deals split HP damage. Then she increases the party's Brave by 20% HP damage dealt after the last HP attack. She grants 2 buffs. The first buff is the re-race buff that she grants from her skill 2, which she grants to the party for 5 turns. And the other one is the brand new Wish Fulfillment buff, which is a stackable buff that lasts for 12 turns. While the Wish Fulfillment buff is active, it turns her Brave attack into Aim. Now, whenever you use Aim, it recovers Brave to herself based on 100% of her own attack, followed by a 3 hits AoE ranged Brave plus a single target HP attack, and it will not miss. She does deal 20% splash HP damage to non-targets, and she recovers Brave to herself based on 50% of the HP damage dealt to the target. Now, her Wish Fulfillment buff is a stackable buff, and it depends on the amount of party buffs that you have in the entire party. So, with a max stacks of 3, each stack is different because, like, depending on the amount of buffs, it will go up. So, at 1 stack for the Wish Fulfillment, you need to have between a total of 0 to 4 party buffs. At 2 stacks, you need to have a total of 4 to 9 party buffs, and then at 3 stacks you need to have a total of 10 or more party buffs. Now, what you get out of these buffs is actually pretty good. So for the party, you get an increase in Brave damage delta, recovered and stolen Brave max Brave overflow limit up, recovers Brave based on HP damage dealt after turn, which, if you're not familiar with it, if you have pulled for Bartz's BT weapon, that is something that has a similar effect to what he had previously with his BT effect, which was like, depending on the amount of HP damage that you did, you would recover a certain amount of HP damage. This is kind of like what Rosa has in her Wish Fulfillment buff. And you also get an HP damage delta. So with the Brave damage delta, at 1 stack you get 10%, 2 stacks 15%, and then at 3 stacks you get a 25% Brave damage delta for the party. For the second one, recovered and stolen Brave max Brave overflow limit up, you start off at 10%, then it'll go up to 15%, and then 25%. For the recovers Brave based on HP damage dealt after turn, it'll start off at 5%, then it'll go up to 10% at 2 stacks, and then 15% at 3 stacks. And then finally, for the HP damage delta, it'll start off at 5%, then it'll go up to 10% at 2 stacks, and 15% at 3 stacks. And I'm gonna have all of these percentages on the screen for you guys, so that way if you want to come back to the video and look at the percentages and the amount of buffs that you need for each of the stacks, you can go back to the video and you can go by this, or if you want to take a screenshot, whatever it is that you want to do for references, you are more than welcome to, so that way you don't have to keep coming back and forth to the video and whatnot. So I will have all of that information on the screen for you, so that you know, for your convenience. So now we get to the point of the video where you guys determine whether or not it is actually worth going for either Reno or Rosa, based off of what you have already heard in this video, based off of your own research, or based off of what you are about to hear from my experiences in the JP side of operaomnia. So we're gonna start off with Reno. Reno, with his call ability, if you did manage to pull his LD weapon when he first came out in his initial event, you're in luck because you got yourself a solid call ability. That call ability of his pyramid ability, really comes in handy. It's a strong call ability to have, and it really look, I'm gonna be upfront with you, it really saves your cheeks in case you are about to get your cheeks handed to you. Like if you about to get clapped, it's a really solid call ability to have, you know. But overall, like in general, I do like his kit, like his base kit. I like the fact that like whenever like you have his debuff on, the enemies gets pushed back a little bit. You know, and you know, he has a couple other things to his kit, but like overall, like the big thing that catches my eye with Reno is definitely his LD ability, and the fact that whenever it's the enemy's turn and it's, you know, they're about to do like a very nasty attack, they basically they don't do anything to you. They just kind of sit there. They act like they're about to do anything, but they don't. So you know, it is a very convenient call ability to have for future Lufenia fights, or you know, just for those type of instances where you're about to get clapped. For Rosa though, Rosa is a solid support character. Like I will go ahead and say right now, I know there's gonna be comments because I know there are people waiting for Seta, and I cannot wait to make my video on that. I'm gonna leave it at that. So for Rosa is a solid support character. The amount of auras that she is already, or that she was previously bringing back in the day with her skill, what was it? Her skill, excuse me, her, just like overall in general, like if we take a look at her buffs, like she was providing attack, max brave, initial brave up to the party. She was providing the ability to revive yourselves whenever your HP reached 0. She had a good C65, and then if we looked at her EX ability buff that she granted, the party got max brave overflow, brave regen, a little bit extra attack, and then like for, you know, for like future reference, whenever she gets her crystal level 90, she actually gets way more on top of that actually provides much more solid auras. But of course, we're talking about what we are getting right now. Now, some players may try to counteract and say like, oh, well, what if we bring characters that don't provide any type of buffs? What if we don't have any type of what if we just bring like just straight DPS characters that are just like straight selfish, that don't provide any type of buffs to themselves, like, or just like don't provide anything to the party, or so on and so forth. We do have call abilities for that, you know. Even if you can't reach the 3 stacks, you know, trying to get like those 2 stacks does help a little bit, because like you are still getting that extra boost in brave damage up, HP damage up. You're getting overflow, as well as you are also getting a brave based on the amount of HP damage that you are dealing as well, which is convenient. I mean, like it might not be the same percentage as bots, but at least you know that like it's always like the buff is always going to be there compared to bots, where like, you know, once you lose this BT effect, like I mean it's pretty much gone. Where as to with Rosa, you have what, 3 uses of her LD ability, and her buff lasts for what, 12 turns. So you have plenty of time to be able to you know, try to build up buffs, and you can take advantage of the longevity that you have with her LD buff. So I mean, you have plenty of options, and of course, I mean, you can always bring Rosa with other characters, other like say utility characters, or other characters that just like in general have like overheads as well. You know, it doesn't always have to be characters that provide buffs. You know, you can always bring other characters that have overheads. There's nothing wrong with that as well, because guess what? You know, those percentages, they do stack on top of each other. So, you know, it's just like it's things like that you have to look in. You have like, you really have to just think on it and just like look into it and be like, you know, well, even if I can't cover this part, I can always probably add on to it in a different way. So if you are needing a strong support character like Rosa, Rosa is definitely not a bad option. Now, if you already have like solid support characters from like, I don't know, like maybe like the past like couple of months, if you think that you're pretty comfortable and you want to wait later on until like say like a crystal level 90 or until her LD weapon gets rerun. You know, it's perfectly fine. It's understandable. I know there might be some players that might mention that like Yuna is like maybe a couple of weeks or maybe like right around not maybe, but like right around the corner as well. So maybe you want to wait on Yuna, because I know Yuna with her percentages and her amazing auras with her LD ability and her BT effect, most might want to wait on that, which is perfectly understandable. So I can definitely understand some players might wanting to wait if they don't throw the whole like, oh, I'm waiting for Setzer card and wanting to wait for Yuna. You know, that is perfectly understandable, because like Yuna is definitely a higher top tier support character than Rosa. But hey, then again, you can also combine Rosa and Yuna. I have seen team comps done by Japanese players where Rosa and Yuna was combined together, or even just like a straight support team, like where you had Form, Rosa, and Yuna, and that team just straight destroyed. So, I mean, you know, there's many possibilities. But again, if you're needing a strong support character with good amount of auras, and if you are confident enough to know that you're able to at least get like those 2 stacks or even the 3 stacks with either via call abilities or just like, you know, with your team comp, so on and so forth, then Rosa is definitely a good character. She's I feel like a lot of players do overlook what she does bring to team comps, just because maybe, I don't know, maybe some players might think she falls off. She may fall off that quickly. I personally don't think so, but you know, that's just me. Of course, everybody is entitled to your own opinions, but hey, you guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. What are your plans going to be for the upcoming Reno Lost chapter and the banner? What are you guys going to be pulling for, either for Reno, Rosa, or if you are going to wait for any of the next upcoming banners, or just going to wait until she gets reran in the future? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. As always, if you guys did enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future operaomnia content. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next video.